In the early 1970s, Mego, off the success of the world's greatest hero line, continued to buy licensed properties. One such property was both cheap to buy and cheap to make.
Yep.
Cheap to buy because the TV show had run its course. Cheap to make because most figures used the same costumes and weapons. Of course, we are talking about Star Trek.
Star Trek.
At the edge of the universe, 400 men and women are probing the immeasurable blackness of space. Their leaders are an Earthman with no fear and a stranger with no heart. Travel beyond our time and solar system, into new galaxies, into worlds beyond your dreams. Star Trek, every week, in color on the NBC television network.
And Mego was boldly going where no toy company had gone before.
The Star Trek action figures featuring the crew of the Enterprise, Captain James T. Kirk, their fearless leader, Dr. Bones McCoy, caring for the health of the Enterprise crew, Scotty, the chief engineer, in charge of the transporter room, Mr. Spock, the Vulcan, second in command, and the Klingon, enemy of the Star Trek crew. Star Trek action figures, complete with accessories, shown.
Mego released Wave 1 of their Star Trek line in 1974, 5 years after the show was canceled. In 1969, but the same year after it gained new popularity in syndication. That's right, it was syndicated way back in 1974. The figures were supposed to be based on the live action series, but in many cases, they look like the animated series. That's right, there was an animated series that ran from 1973 to 1975. You didn't know that? Let's take a look at...
I'm getting some sort of subspace radio signal.
Put it on ship speaker.
Saturday night, 6:30, 5:30 Central, and Sunday morning, 11:30, 10:30 Central, Earth time.
What in the name of sanity is going on?
I am experiencing audio-visual suggestion, Captain.
So am I. It seems to be calling us.
Star Trek, Saturday nights at 6:30, 5:30 Central, and Sunday mornings at 11:30, 10:30 Central, Earth time on Nickelodeon.
Star Trek was the perfect fit for Mego. As we said, uniforms were all very similar except for the color, and weapons were all the same. They came with a tricorder and a...
Phaser.
Phaser, that's right. Mego had confidence in the line that they even created a new leg. So instead of having the boot come off the leg, the boot was attached to the leg, so you didn't have to worry about losing them like most people lost their little tiny Robin, green Robin shoes. Everybody lost those. I know I lost a number of pairs.
Yeah, which for Mego fans is a huge benefit because the first thing everybody lost was the shoes.
So the boots were actually incorporated into the leg, which was a, really good thing for us fans who played with them. The line is also the first line to only appear on a card. They did not come in boxes like the World's Greatest Heroes did. They just came as carded figures. And the first group that came out were Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, Scotty,
figure, not a doll.
and the Klingon. And later on, Lieutenant Uhura came out. There was also a USS Enterprise and a communicator walkie-talkie. The first 5 figures appeared on 5 face cards, 6 face cards with white lettering, 6 face cards with different color lettering, 6 face cards with blank backs, and a Paley toy card, which is the European version of Mego.
And Chad's going to take out them right now.
I don't have any of them.
Oh.
I actually had Kirk and Spock when I was a kid.
They're super expensive now, the originals.
They are, and especially on card.
Yeah.
Along with individual cards, the first figures could also have been ordered via mail through companies like Sears or Montgomery Ward. These shipped in plastic bags and mailboxes.
Well, that's a real throwback that these were out at the time that Montgomery Ward existed.
Yeah, they were out at Montgomery Ward. And as you know, Sears always had like an exclusive deal with a lot of these toy companies. They would release something, be the only want to get in a certain way.
Well, at one point, Sears must have been one of the biggest toy retailers.
They had to be.
Do you remember when you were a kid in November taking out the Sears catalog and circling what you...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every year.
Circling what you wanted to get for Christmas?
For many years, and then it became the JCPenney's catalog, actually.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
These ones in bags are very hard to find today. If you can find them in the bag with the mailer box, they are very, very collectible and very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
There was also a USS Enterprise gift set, which came with the USS Enterprise and the 5 original figures on cards.
The Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set with command chair, console, 3 telescreen cards, and 5 Star Trek action figures. Place Mr. Spock or any Star Trek figure into the transporter room. Spin the control knob and press the button. Mr. Spock disappears. Pretend he's left the deck of the Enterprise for outer space adventure. You can capture the Klingon and bring him back to the Enterprise. Star Trek USS Enterprise gift set. Star Trek action figures also sold separately by Mego.
The original series was also re-released again in 1979 to coincide with the motion picture. These were sold by Sears. They came with the USS Enterprise, and they were the blank back cards.
Mm-hmm. Were they in the uniforms from the movie?
No, they were actually the original. They were just reproductions of the original line that came out with, Kirk was wearing yellow, Spock was in blue.
Yeah. Good, because I gotta say, I never liked the uniforms from the first movie.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And we will, at some point, we will talk about Mego's release of the 3 3/4 figures of the movie.
No, to compete with Star Wars?
To compete with Star Wars. Series 2 included aliens, and based on the success of Series 1, Mego designed a new card for these. Not all of these were actual aliens that appeared on Star Trek. Neptune was a very impressive looking alien. Great costume, amazing design, boots and gloves are awesome looking, and it can be found on either a 10-back card or a very rare 14-back card.
And what's that mean, a 10-back card or 14-back?
10-back card means it shows 10 of the other faces of the other figures.
Okay.
14-back means it shows all of the other figures.
Gotcha.
Which
Okay.
is rarer. The 14-back is rare.
Gotcha.
The next one is the Keeper from the episode The Cage and the Menagerie. Also well known from the end credits of the series.
Wasn't the Keeper a member of the Telosian race?
Yes, he was a member of the Telosian race. Yeah. Let's look at the end of of each episode.
Yeah.
These are found on 10-backs and 14-backs and also can be found on a Paleotoy UK card.
Nice.
Gorn, probably the most well-known of the alien figures. Doesn't really look like the Gorn from the show.
Right.
He was in episode The Arena. His head is the head of the lizard. And he's supposed to be green from the show.
The Spider-Man lizard.
Yes, the Spider-Man lizard from Marvel's greatest superhero line.
Very different looking.
Very different looking. Yeah. They actually paint the green head brown. So Gorn has a brown head. I don't know why they would do that.
Why did they do that?
Even though he was green in the show. This is the only figure completely made from recycled parts. He has Planet of the Apes body. He has a Klingon uniform, and he has the lizard head.
Yeah, it's not like sci-fi fans are particular.
No, not like, hey, he's brown, so what? We don't know. We didn't realize he's green in the show, and it doesn't really look anything like him.
Yeah. Sci-fi fans are not known to be nitpicky.
No, maybe not in the 70s, but today we're a little bit... Look at a Star Wars chat room.
No thanks.
The next figure is the Charon figure. A great character.
Charon was which one? Remind me.
Frank Gorshin.
Yes, the black and white.
About him.
Black and white Cookie Man.
There you go.
That's right. Let That Be Your Last Battlefield was in the episode,
He was in the episode Let That Be Your Last
season?
Battlefield. That's correct.
Look at me. I'm doing good here.
And this is the only figure that I can think of, and if you can think of another one, please comment, that the same actor appears twice in Mego. He was the Riddler, and he's also this character, Frank Gorshin.
Right, so he was the Riddler in the Batman 66 line, and this character in Star Trek.
I couldn't think of anyone else that appeared more than once in the Mego, as a Mego figure.
No.
Yeah. Right. And this figure comes on a 10-back, a 14-back, and a Paleotoy UK. So if you know an actor that appears more than once, please comment, because I would really like to know, and I'll even do a short on it if you find it.
Dr. Bones McCoy, caring for their health and welfare. Scotty, chief engineer. Mr. Spock, the Vulcan first officer. Lieutenant Uhura, the communications officer. And new for 1976, the aliens, Klingon. Their evil threatens the universe. Gorn, half human, half beast. Charon, is he good or evil? Neptunian, dangerous in space and in his own watery habitat. And the Keeper, his incredible intellect threatens the Enterprise. The Star Trek Aliens.
This leads us to Series 3. Series 3 had a Romulan figure, which came with an awesome-looking golden removable helmet.
Yeah, that was a cool-looking figure.
Really,
I remember
really
that.
cool-looking figure.
Yeah.
The figures get better as the series goes on. They put more money into the design, and they're actually designing these look great. This Series 3, the figures look absolutely phenomenal. The designs that they use and the outfits they use for them. Talos from the episode The Keeper's costume is a little weird, but pretty cool. He looks like he's a circus performer. The Andorian has another great-looking figure. The head sculpt is from Journey to Babel. It really looks good. The costume looks great, too. But the best figure design in the series has to be Mugato.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
It is amazing looking.
Yeah.
From, what episode is he in?
Private Little War.
Private Little War. It had a great-looking sculpt and the most colorful costume in the line. It was absolutely fantastic looking. That's all of the figures in the series, but there was also some other play sets. Along with the USS Enterprise, there was also a standalone transporter sold only in the UK, and it was released by Paleo Toys.
Prominently featured in an episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
There was also a Mission to Gamma playset from the episode The Apple. It was a little bit strange.
Yeah.
It had a plant trap with these teeny aliens that were not the size of the figures. It had an alien throne made of cardboard and an alien idol facade. It was a little bit on the weird side. Came out later in the line.
Captain's log, stardate 5122-6, on a mission to Gamma 6. Spock, Bones, Scotty, and I beamed down, not knowing what to expect. We approached the idol. Its jaws were moving. Suddenly, 5 Lilliputians appeared, each attached to the other. The aliens placed themselves in front of the idol. Strange animals tried to grab us. Bones was trapped in a man-eating plant. Suddenly, the floor gave way. I was in the cave. The Lilliputians were friendly. Mission to Gamma 6 was a success.
Finally, there was a telescreen console, which was released by itself, and it looked like computers from the series.
Oh, like the ones they talk to each other on? Yeah, on the tables.
And that was just another one.
Yeah.
That's the whole line. That's the Mego line of 8-inch Star Trek figures. They also did a 3 3/4-inch figure line. So if you don't want to miss that episode, subscribe. We're going to go through every single Star Trek line from Mego all the way to Star Trek Today.
Yeah.
There's some great figures throughout.
I have to say, I was never a big Mego fan when I was younger.
I was a huge Mego fan.
But when I saw the reissue of the Star Wars stuff recently,
Star Trek stuff. Star Trek stuff. He said Star Wars. Right to him, not me.
When I saw the reissue of the Star Trek stuff,
Mego is releasing Star Trek again now. We'll talk about that.
I was excited.
At some point.
Like that was one of the things that I saw, and I was like, "Oh, those are really cool."
The Romulan looks great.
They all look good.
Yeah.
They all look good, and I love that they're doing different uniforms now.
They're from the original sculpts too.
A lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, Mego is re-releasing a lot of their lines. Check back, we did one on DC's Greatest Heroes.
Yeah.
Fantastic looking figures.
And they finally fixed the Gorn in the new reissue. It looks like the Gorn. Yeah.
So if you like Mego, check out our other episodes on that. Subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming ones. We're going to be doing a lot of it. If you like Star Trek, same thing. We're going to be doing every single one of the Star Trek toy lines in the future. As we end every episode, love what you collect.
Collect what you love.
We'll see you next time.